Sarah Chen stared at her bank account on a Tuesday morning in March 2019. Balance, $247. She just quit her marketing job to start a consulting firm, and her savings looked pathetic next to her big dreams. 4 years later, she hit her first million. The gap between zero and wealth isn't just about money. It's about the invisible rules that govern each stage of building assets. Most people think going from broke to rich is one long climb up the same mountain. It's not. The skills that get you your first $10,000 will actually hurt you when you're chasing your first million. The mindset that builds $100,000 becomes a ceiling when you need to think bigger. Here's exactly what changes at each milestone, why your strategy has to evolve, and the one mistake that keeps people stuck between levels. The path from 0 to 7 figures has 3 completely different games. The problem is simple. Wealth building isn't one skill. It's 3 separate games with different rules, different risks, and different winners. Game 1, 0 to $10,000, the survival game. At this level, your enemy is cash flow. Every dollar matters because one bad month can wipe you out. Your mechanism is simple math. Spend less than you earn, then protect what's left. Think of it like plugging holes in a bucket before you worry about filling it faster. Picture Maria, a teacher in Phoenix, tracking every coffee purchase on a spreadsheet in 2021. She earned $48,000 that year, but saved $8,002 by cutting her food budget from $4 to $280 monthly and finding a roommate. Her wallet grew by $683 per month through pure discipline. At this stage, savers win and spenders lose. The wealthy person earning $200,000 who spends $195,000 has less power than the teacher saving $8,000 on $48,000. Cash is king, and cash flow is the kingdom. The risk hides in emergencies. One car repair, one medical bill, one job loss can reset your progress to 0. Ask Jennifer Walsh, a graphic designer in Denver, who built up $9,400 by December 2019, then watched COVID lockdowns kill her freelance income while her savings evaporated paying rent. By June 2020, she was back to $1,200. Behavior changes. You become obsessed with tracking. Every purchase gets questioned. At home, you meal prep on Sundays and drive your car an extra 2 years. Skip the $5 coffee 5 days a week, and you save $1,300 annually. Businesses at this level bootstrap everything. They buy used equipment, work from kitchen tables, and pay themselves last. Brian Chesky of Airbnb survived on $40 boxes of cereal in 2008, selling Obama O's and Cap'n McCain's to fund his startup when it had 0 revenue. Watch for this signal. When saving $100 feels exciting instead of impossible, that means your money habits have shifted from survival to surplus. Game 2, $10,000 to $100,000, the acceleration game. Now your enemy is time. You've proven you can save, but saving alone won't get you to 6 figures fast enough. At $500 monthly savings, reaching $100,000 takes 16 years. Your new mechanism: multiply your money while you sleep. This means investments that compound while you focus on earning more. Consider James Park, who started Fitbit in 2007 with $10,000 in personal savings, plus $90,000 from friends and family. Instead of keeping that cash earning 1% in a bank, he used it as startup capital. By 2015, when Fitbit went public, his stake was worth over $300 million. His wallet jumped because he put money into assets that grew at 20% annually instead of 1%. Income earners win this game, not just savers. The risk shifts from emergencies to opportunity cost. Keep everything in savings accounts, and inflation slowly steals your purchasing power. In 2023, with inflation at 3.2%, a $50,000 savings account earning 0.5% lost $350 in real buying power, while the S&P 500 gained 24%. Here's where psychology gets tricky. The habits that built your first $10,000 can sabotage your next $90,000. Maria hit this wall in 2022. She'd saved $12,000, but kept it all in checking accounts because investing felt risky. Meanwhile, her colleague invested $10,000 in index funds in 2020 and watched it grow to $15,800 by 2022. Behavior changes. You start thinking in percentages, not dollars. At home, you max out your 401k match because free money beats any budget trick. You open a Roth IRA and automate $500 monthly into index funds. The math becomes your friend. Invest $1,000 monthly, earning 8% annually, and you'll hit $100,000 in 7 years instead of spending 16 years saving in cash. That's compound growth beating compound savings. Businesses reinvest profits instead of hoarding cash. They hire their first employee, buy better equipment, or expand to new markets. Amazon famously reinvested every dollar back into growth for its first 20 years. Watch for this signal. When you check investment returns more often than your checking account balance. You're thinking like an investor, not just a saver. Game 3, $100,000 to $1,000, the leverage game. Your enemy becomes your own limited time and energy. You can't work enough hours to reach 7 figures through labor alone. Even at a $150,000 salary saving 30% annually, you'll need 15 years to hit $1 million. Your mechanism: use other people's money, time, or expertise to multiply your results. Think about Jensen Huang, NVIDIA's CEO. In early 2023, his company's stock sat at $146. By December, it hit $495. AI demand exploded. His wealth jumped from $5 billion to over $20 billion in 12 months, not because he worked harder, but because he owned equity in a business that scaled beyond his personal effort. Business owners and equity holders win this round. The highest paid surgeon earning $600,000 annually still needs a decade to reach $1 million net worth after taxes. But the surgeon who owns 3 medical practices might get there in 5 years. The risk becomes concentration. Put everything in one stock, one property, or one business, and you could lose it all. Remember Enron employees who lost their retirement savings in 2001 when company stock collapsed from $90 to 67 cents in 11 months? Here's where most people plateau. They've mastered saving and investing, but won't take ownership risk. They max out 401ks, earning solid returns, but never start businesses or buy rental properties. They think Game 3 is too risky, not realizing that staying in Game 2 is the biggest risk of all. Behavior changes. You think in systems, not tasks. At home, you might invest in rental properties generating $2,000 monthly cash flow, or start an online business. You realize that buying your primary residence isn't just lifestyle, it's leverage. Put down $60,000 on a $300,000 home, and every dollar of appreciation multiplies by 5. Businesses focus on building valuable assets they can eventually sell. Sarah Blakely sold Spanx to Blackstone for $1.2 billion in 2021, turning her $5,000 startup investment into generational wealth. Watch for this signal: when you earn money while you sleep or vacation. Your wealth comes from assets appreciating, businesses operating, or investments compounding without your active work. Here's where most people get stuck. They master one game but refuse to learn the next. The teacher who saves $50,000 but keeps it all in a checking account. The tech worker earning $150,000 who never starts a side business because they're optimizing budget spreadsheets. Each transition requires letting go of what worked before. Sarah Chen, our consultant from earlier, had to stop micromanaging every expense when she hit $50,000. Instead, she hired a bookkeeper for $200 monthly and focused on landing clients paying $10,000 per project. By 2023, she owned 3 rental properties and a business generating $40,000 monthly revenue. The math changes at each level. Going from $0 to $10,000 might take 2 years of saving $400 monthly. Reaching $100,000 could take 5 more years with smart investing. But that final jump to $1,000 might happen in just 3 years if you own the right assets during a growth cycle. What to watch next? Track your wealth velocity, not just your balance. If you're adding $500 monthly through savings, you're in Game 1. If you're growing by 8% annually through investments, you've entered Game 2. If your net worth jumps by tens of thousands in a single year from asset appreciation, welcome to Game 3. Sarah Chen's $247 bank balance in March 2019 wasn't just a number. It was a mirror showing her exactly which game she was playing. 4 years later, staring at her first 7-figure net worth statement, she realized the real secret wasn't about money at all. It was about identity. Each wealth milestone forces you to become a different person. The saver who tracks every penny can't think like the investor who ignores daily market swings. The investor who manages portfolios can't act like the entrepreneur who risks everything on equity. Most people fail because they try to stay who they were while building wealth that demands they become someone new. Here's your testable signal. Watch how you react to a $1,000 unexpected expense. In Game 1, it causes panic. In Game 2, you pull from emergency savings without stress. In Game 3, you don't notice because your assets generated more than that overnight. The question isn't whether you can build wealth. It's whether you're brave enough to become the person your wealth requires you to be. Want to level up? Start measuring your wealth velocity this month, then learn the skills your next milestone demands.